with most of our clients, we do not take on, we don't build from scratch. But my other company where we work with in the property development industry, they don't have ad accounts, and that's fine because it's very simple. And I kind of don't want them to have ad accounts anyway, because they're the type of industry where I'm like, ignorance is bliss. If they have no idea what we're doing, they don't ask questions about it. So we don't talk about the ads, we talk about the outcomes,
the business.
But with most of the clients that we'd be working with Google Ads, ideally, like, you don't have to start from scratch. And that's what I'm talking about, like building it from scratch, because even building from scratch is like getting billing profiles done, business verifications, like director driver's license and business licenses in the ad account. Like, there's just so much now. Like, you actually forget when you do it for so long and you're so on autopilot that more and more is required as time goes on. And yeah, my recommendation here is for specialists or business owners who are building out accounts, just be really cautious that when you build out an account, you want to do it properly from the start. It really is the foundation. So if you do it correct from the start, it will really set up success from the start. If you do things wrong from the start, either the wrong campaign types, the wrong structures, just the wrong type of things, the data that's coming in will start pushing out different types of data outcomes, because that's the algorithm learning. But also, you'll start going on a rabbit hole where you're trying to optimize something that's fundamentally broken rather than having a really good support base. But what goes into that is obviously strategy. You got to know what your outcome is, what are the best campaign types, what are the best like methodologies and processes, and then also just the right optimization around that. But I'm just thinking now, and like for me, sometimes I undermine how much I know, because I'm like, oh, everyone must know this. Like, my setup is really simple. But then I've audited a bunch of accounts over the last 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, they're really bad. These are people who've been paid good money to manage ad accounts, and the structure and the setup is still so bad. And I'm like, whoa, like the bar is still pretty low. So when you're good, you kind of sometimes go like, oh, I'm good. Like, why would people pay me heaps more just to be like, provide a baseline service? But you realize what most people are doing to set up accounts is still so horrible. It's like, do you ever audit accounts and you're like, what the hell is going on here? How's this been even running? How's this even made money?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, sometimes, because I am choosy about the clients that I work with, because I want to make sure it's a mutual fit. And because I'm expensive, I'll just be honest, I'm expensive because that's well-deserved, and the value that I provide is enormous, and they've never seen something like that before. So because of that choosiness, sometimes and often I'll look at the account, we're talking and just doing some prospecting. Is this even going to be a good fit? And we talk about the data that's in the account and how it's been set up and what's happened in the past, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'll say, look, I don't think you should have anyone that you're paying to manage this for you right now. I think eventually, as the data volume scales, it might be a good option for you. But I think whether you pay me to consult for you or whether you pay someone else, I think you just need an expert to kind of sit behind you and look over your shoulder and say, yeah, do this, don't do this, avoid this completely. That's a dangerous, that's a dead end over there. That is extremely valuable. So don't let perfection be the enemy of good in this case. When you're don't over worry about it's going to be the perfect setup and I'm using all the perfect this, that, and the other, and you're downloading all the checklists that are being promoted out there. Don't worry so much about that. Just get an expert to come in and help you if you're trying to do this yourself. Like, even if you're an in-house marketer for a really big brand, actually in that case, especially because you're going to be the one managing the account, but you haven't done this a lot, that is particularly helpful to have outside expertise just come in, give you some idea of how they would set it up, how they would think about setting it up. And that's going to help to avoid this kind of like, I don't know, worrying about the perfect setup. And then, or Michael, you've seen this too, where they over optimize. They've set it up so granularly because...
Mate, I was just about to say that, but I'll let you keep going, then I will start, because that's something I want to talk about.
No, go right into it, because that's just the main point. I see that a lot too.
That's... When I'll look at two things. I'll look at, number one, the business as a whole. I'm like, is this a good product or service that I feel like I can make a difference on? Now, at this point in my business career, I just like, my low-hanging fruit is high-ticket items, high-ticket either products or services, but that are legit, not like consulting courses or some shit like that. And then so that's number one. Is it like there's a high ROI opportunity? Because ads are expensive, but they're not expensive comparative to if you're making the client 100 grand per sale. So
Right.
if it's a B2B service or B2I being an industrial or, big investments. But then when I look at the account, I love when, I talk to a business owner or a specialist and they're talking a big game. Yeah, I've been watching all these videos and stuff. And then I look in the account and it's like one search campaign that's on like search and display and then like one PMax. I'm like, fuck yes, I love this. The ones I hate is when it's like a business owner who's been running it since like 2010 themselves. And there's like, for like one line of business, there's like 20 search campaigns. And they're like, yeah, this campaign's for like the exact match. And this one's for the phrase match. And this one's for like this exact keyword. So when they split it out way too much, I always say no, because I realize the mindset behind those people, it's very old school where they just like want control. And they're also the types of people who cost per lead is so important that like if it went up or down by like $1 or $2, they'd be so sensitive about it. I want clients who they're like, if it goes from the cost per lead is like $80 and then one month it might be 40, the next month is 120. They don't know, they don't care, because the outcome of sale is the most important thing. Those, as you were mentioning before, the structure and the setup with those people who do so granular. You've seen those accounts where it's like, there's like, it's more on the search side that this might be like,
Yeah.
campaign 1A for this product, campaign 1B for this exact match, phrase match. And you're like, whoa, this is hectic. And then even in the name, they're like cost per click, like manual CPC or max. And I'm like, dude.
And then there's $6 a day going through each campaign.
Yeah.
Or something. It's giving like,
And they're like,
3 clicks
Cory,
a day.
why is the cost per click gone up from $4 to $4.37? Like, we need to really like, we've got to
This
make
is
sure
a
that
problem. Yeah.
dude, those accounts, I love seeing, because I just look at it and I'm like, this is doomed for failure. And whoever takes this on is doomed for just like misery. Like, you never win in those
Yeah,
cases. The
yeah.
clients who always have those structures, you never win. You just never win, unless the only time I've had that where I've won was when I was at a previous agency I was working at, and I was taking on like big enterprise accounts. And the person who was like running the account internally at their company had left. And then I just have the free reign to restructure it, and basically everything improves. But when you're working directly with a business owner who's been running this structure for years, not only are you trying to re-educate them, which you're not going to be able to do because they're so set in their ways, because they're like, they've probably burnt through a lot of specialists,
Probably,
is
yeah.
you're trying to like create a strategy that's not proven for them, and they're not open-minded to it. And even if you were to do it, you've got to educate them on the benefit and then prove it within a very short frame, because they're probably very sensitive. They're like, if one day's off, they're like, oh, my business is going to fail. Like, do you know those clients that are like, if they have a
course.
bad day, it's like
Of course.
the end of the world? Like,
Yeah.
I will say this right now in public. I will never, I'm not going to swear even though I will never work with a business like that. That is like so low quality that if like you have a bad day, that it's like red flags, cost per click goes up by like 40%, conversion rate goes from 10% to 7.5. And it's like
This
if
ad
that's
group had
like
a
how,
30% decline in clicks last night.
yeah,
What happened?
yeah, if, or like the last hour, like, compared to like, average Monday on 3 p.m. If
Oh,
that's your
yeah.
business, and I'll just say this to any business owner watching it, if that's how you operate, your business will fail.